and a very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch, a show that gives you all the latest news and updates from the startup ecosystem. I'm Priya Sheth, and as promised, I'm back with a consolidated list of the movers and shakers in the world of startups. But first up, let's look at the top news headlines that we're tracking this evening. First up, we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has been urging youth to be a part of Prarambh, which is the Startup India International Summit, which will be hosted virtually on the 15th and 16th of January. Do remember that prominent personalities from the spaces of startup, investment, banking, financial services will be attending and will be a part of this summit. Then moving on to the second headline of the day, instant messaging platform WhatsApp has clarified its privacy policy. Do remember that this has been the talk of the town over the last couple of days. In fact, what WhatsApp has clearly said is that personal messages that users send to one another will continue to remain private through end-to-end encryption. It has also said that the update that has been issued recently relates to businesses using WhatsApp as a platform for messaging. Well, the third headline of the day is to do with fundraising. Stakeboat Cap is all set to raise its second fund of 1,000 crore rupees. Do remember that it is looking at tapping global institutions as well as domestic and other institutional investors as far as this fund is concerned. Now, do remember that this second fundraise comes 4 years after the first fund was launched. The first fund primarily focused on SMEs, which have been looking at growth. The focus areas for this fund has typically been healthcare, life sciences, B2B software and manufacturing. Well, moving on to the last headline of the day, hospitality company Oyo has raised an undisclosed amount from Swedish billionaire Martin Soderstrom. Now, this investment will help Oyo scale up its presence within the European Union, and also do remember that Oyo has been looking at growing its EU vacations business. So therefore, what Martin Soderstrom will bring to the table is definitely some guidance as far as M&A is concerned within that region. Also do remember that Oyo had recently raised about 54 crore rupees from Hindustan Media Ventures. Well, moving on to our second segment of the day, we have with us a very prominent person from the startup ecosystem. He's been a serial entrepreneur, and after Micromax, there's a new venture that he has rolled out. It's called World of Play. But no points for guessing. We have with us Vikas Jain, who is the co-founder of Micromax. Hi, Vikas. How are you doing today?
Very good, Priya. How are you?
All well. So, as our viewers know, you are a prominent face in the tech industry, and World of Play looks like the new bet that you are going to, looking at accelerating going forward. So, tell us a little bit about how you thought about coming up with this venture, considering that Micromax has been there for a couple of years. It's an established brand in the mobile space.
Sure. So personally, I'm a gadget freak, and the entire hearable segments or the entire IoT segment has always excited me in terms of what can be done and how technology can be harnessed into great experiences. Now, at Micromax, while we were scripting our story of coming back on the mobile ecosystem, this was something that we wanted to do in parallel. Unfortunately, that would have meant a lot of things to be done together. So we decided to make this into a separate company, a separate team who could focus on the nitty-gritties of the hearable and the IoT segment, while Micromax would script its own comeback in the mobile phones. So here we are at Play, and now we have roughly a product pipeline of about 15 odd products into both the wearable and the audio or the acoustic segments.
So, well, just to tell our viewers a little bit about World of Play, you have devices which are both smartwatches, earbuds, you have Bluetooth speakers, headphones, etc. So, is there a sync between Micromax and World of Play? Are you looking at connecting the two companies, considering that both are your babies?
So, see, fundamentally, we believe in our strength of understanding the consumer. So both companies focus on B2C businesses. And when it is B2C, when it is electronics, so you will see parlays where, the strengths of each company can be leveraged in the other company. But for all other reasons, both the companies will be scripting their own portfolio. The strategies are different. The TG would largely be similar because of the way the population is, but the strengths would be very, very unique to both the companies.
Tell me a little bit about the product portfolio and the pipeline. You said that you have a healthy pipeline of products that are expected to be rolled out. So, give us a breakup as to which spaces these products are in and what categories are you targeting? Is it the affordable segment that you're targeting, or is it the high-end premium device segment?
Actually, it's interesting. At Play, being a startup, we can do a lot of things which are different from the way they have been done at Micromax. So, towards the end of the month, we are going to kickstart a new initiative where we are going to let the consumers get involved into the designing aspect. So, when I say designing, it does not essentially mean that we'll ask them to make the CAD drawings and all, but we would get their inputs. So it's an initiative where we are crowdsourcing the design. So we are going to involve a set of consumers to give us key inputs in terms of how they would like the looks of the product, what features should go in, what should be the expected, let's say, play time that is there for the devices and stuff like that. It's an interesting thing, and we would let them have the feedback of their inputs in every next section. So assuming that you go in for a particular design, in the next section, we'll show you how it started looking like when the engineering prototype comes in. So there's a sense of involvement and belongingness in the consumer. So this is going to be like a first time initiative that's going to be kicked off in India.
But in terms of numbers, how many products can we expect in 2021?
So see what happens is when you start designing, it's interesting because variations creates number of models. So rather than putting a figure on the number being 10 or 15 or 20, I think from the key categories which will be there, we will be there in the acoustic segment. So there'll be, neck bands, there'll be the true wireless earbuds which are there. There'll be the Bluetooth range of speakers. There'll also be the sound bars which can go along with the televisions. There'll be home entertainment system. And also we are going to focus on something which is called home monitoring. So essentially, it's going to be a pipeline of IoT categories that we'll be powering up.
Because some time ago you had said that by 2021 you want most of your products to be manufactured out of India. So what is the status of that?
Yeah, so having now gone through that phase of consolidation of the designing, the next aspect that we're looking at is bringing the manufacturing to India. Till now, we've been able to use our partners in China and Taiwan to bring up the products. But towards the fag end of Q1 of 2021, we expect to start putting the manufacturing in place. These again will be EMS partners. We don't intend to put on a production capex unless and until it's inevitable. But I think with the new policies of Government of India, there's enough manufacturing ecosystem which is getting developed. So we intend to leverage that because production per se to us is not division. It's a business in itself. It's a serious business. We will let serious partners handle that. We'll bring up the design. We'll power up the production ecosystem and we'll let our partners make it for us.
You're talking about the whole competitive landscape and the kind of investments that are going into this industry. What are your expectations of how much money you'd like to pump into the business?
So we've set forth, my internal accruals. So the company is 100% self-funded right now. It's purely internal accruals, and we've been running a profitable business. So I would say things are going good right now.
So no interest from private equity investors. We're seeing a lot of interest specifically in this space.
We've not been on the roads right now seeking the private equity, but I think over a period of time when we start putting up, the design team starts growing bigger, the ambitions start growing bigger. That's a time we would look at, an able partner who can support us financially as well.
So will 2021 be the year when you'll get a partner on board?
Who knows? But yes, I think from a strategy perspective, yes, 2021 is going to be the year. We should start looking at possible partnerships in the PE ecosystem.
And any thoughts about how much you'd like to dilute? Is there an internal figure as to what kind of dilution you're looking at?
So as I said, towards the end of Q1, the plans will start fructifying in terms of how it looks like. So probably this question is something I could answer in April of 21.
All right. I also want to talk to you about the kind of learnings that you brought to the table from Micromax, considering that you've seen, the phone and the brand going through different cycles over the last couple of years. What kind of learnings do you think, or what better could you do with this venture of yours?
So I think there's going to be, like I said, there's a strong resilience on the design. Yes, it's painstaking when you are small, because the amount of funds that go onto the designing, it's really not capitalized on the small volumes that you have as a startup. But having built up the DNA of the company, that's something that we are proud of. In fact, every single product that we power up, we test it, design it so well that we are proud of every product. We don't mind facing consumer when he's picked up the product to actually get the feedback from him in terms of his likes or dislikes about the product, so that the same inputs can be taken into consideration when we design the next one.
So Vikas, what kind of revenues are you targeting for World of Play over the next 2 years? Is there a roadmap that you have in mind?
So see, again, the ASPs in this category, the average selling price is far lower than what you see in the mobile ecosystem, right? So I would say for the financial year 21-22, we should be looking at roughly about 150 odd crores, which would mean eventually a 10-12 crore of revenue every month. Once we are able to do that with the design and development that we are going to do aside of that, in the next financial year, there should be a quantum leap that we should be able to take in the portfolio.
And in terms of profitability?
As I said, profitability is essential. We don't look at creating negative businesses. As I also said, it's all internal accruals. So we're prudent about the money that we are spending. We're prudent about how every rupee is stretched to the max to get the returns.
All right, Vikas, it's a pleasure speaking to you, and we're going to look forward for more bundled Micromax and World of Play products in the market. Good luck to you, and many thanks for joining us today. With that, it's a wrap on this very special interview. Thank you so much for watching.
With that, it's a wrap on Daily Dispatch. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember to log in same time 5 p.m. tomorrow, where we'll be back with all the latest updates from the world of startups. Goodbye and see you tomorrow.